Welcome to Abundant Life. Today on the homestead, I'm pretty excited because we're going to plant some corn. And so this year, Caleb come to me, and Gahbie he's the only one of the boys that had any real experience during that time of having the gardens and everything. And you know, he remembers what it was really like. And he come to me this year and said, "Dad, I want some sweet corn. I want to plant some sweet corn." Like, heck yeah, let's have some sweet corn. It's been a while. So as long as I teach him and he does a load of the work and I do the work, I think we're going to have a nice sweet corn plot this year. What do you think? Yeah? Yeah. Okay, we're back. It's evening. It's been a long day, but that's okay. It always is the first time. Next year, Caleb will have this knocked out in about an hour. But we wanted to wait till evening to water them in anyway because don't want it was kind of a scorcher today, 86 degrees and very few clouds. We didn't want that to burn off all the water and harden up the surface too fast. So last step, we're going to water it down. We're going to water it in real good. Then I'm going to throw just a light layer of general fertilizer over the top of it, and we'll be done for the night. So Caleb, what we're going to do, and take your hose, right? You're only going to water where the seed is, okay? In between the seed, right? That whole 1 foot row, you're going to water that area. You don't want water out here.
I thought you were saying like only on the seed, not.
Yeah, no, not on each individual seed. We're going to water the whole row and in between. We just don't want water out here in the middle because any water we get out here is just going to help more weeds germinate, okay? Big thing we want to do, we don't want to high pressure spray it really hard. We don't want to just pour it out the end of the hose because that ends up hitting pretty hard as well. So the little shower head on this works nice for this job. We want to soak it in real good. Don't just make the dirt look wet. You want to get it good and soaked in. Take your time. And I just real slow back and forth all the way down this row, right? Don't get in a rush about it. You want that water to take up all the air space that's between the molecules and pieces of dirt and clay. You want that seed to get good and moist. You want all the ground around that seed to get good and moist. That's perfectly fine. When you water like this, you have some standing water back there, because you'll see it's only going to take about 2 minutes for that standing water to soak in. One thing I kind of do as I'm watering any of the garden rows, I hook this hose behind me because moving that leg's going to help me drag it down through here. And those posts there, I was telling you earlier today, you know, you're going to be glad those posts are down there because that's going to help keep this hose from running into your crops. So take your time, go all the way down, and then, especially this first watering,
Go back down.
come all the way back. Same way, same speed, soak it all over again, all the way back. For this first watering, you really can't put too much water on it, okay? Because what's going to happen, we're going to water it, then I'm going to toss that fertilizer down, and then we are not going to touch this field again for nothing until the corn sprouted up a good 2 inches higher. So, and then we'll start seeing if we got morning glories and stuff like that popping up. But water the heck out of it, okay? Get it good and watered in, get that soil good and soaked, and then we're going to walk away from it for a couple weeks, okay? But like I said, wrap this around your back, because use that leg to help you drag it down. And I'll be back here a little bit. If you get to where you just can't drag to the end, I'll help you unloop. But when I'm out here doing it on my own, I end up walking down there and getting the loops to get caught and everything. But I'll give you a hand with that so we're not out here till dark, but that's what you want to do. Slow and easy. Back and forth, then take a step. Back and forth, take a step. Water, just soak this ground, okay? But only the row. Don't be spraying out there and stuff. Okay? Now I'm going to go kind of sit down and watch you.
Song like for church camp or something. Is greater far than tongue or pen can ever tell. It goes beyond the highest star and reaches to the lowest hell. The guilty pair bowed down with care. God gave his son to win. His erring child he reconciled and pardoned from his sin. Oh, love of God, how rich and pure, how measureless and strong, it shall forevermore endure, the saints and angels' sweet song. For all that you've done, I will thank you. For all that you're going to do. For all that you've promised and all that you are is all that has carried me through. Jesus, I thank you. And I thank you, thank you. I'm now taking two parts. And I thank you. And I thank you, thank you. Thank you for loving and setting me free. Thank you for giving your life just for me. I thank you. Jesus, I thank you. Gratefully thank you. Father, I thank you. I'd have to work myself to pieces to get able to sing anymore, I guess.
Yep. Figuring out how to control that hose is just it's part of the job, you know, and that's keeping it from running through the mud you just made, keeping from getting too much water in the aisles, keeping the hose from running over your seeds. You know, that's all part of it, and I think a big part of what, or it's one of the little things that kind of start to get people overwhelmed with when they start a big garden. Anyway, they think just planting, and not all of the time, not all of the stuff that they got to put into it. You ain't gonna keep those feet clean, buddy.
I know. Turn even mud off.
Just let it run out. You'll be all right. You'll fight yourself all night trying to stop all of it. Like I said, this is the first watering. It's and the first time you've done it. You're gonna make a mess. It's all right. It'll make a little extra weeds in the middle and whatnot, but no big deal. We'll work through it. And I might even take the outer tines off the cultivator and take the wide sweeps off and put the chisels on it and just run it up and down these rows a couple times before the corn even sprouts, just to break it up again and keep some of the weeds from coming up.
Which one sprouts faster, wheat or corn?
Yeah, it all depends. I mean, you know, your grasses, with corn is a grass. Your corn's going to sprout just about as fast as grass does. So you're going to have a lot of grasses pop out about the same time your corn does. Some of your, like, we got a lot of clover out here. We got a lot of that broadleaf plantain. Those will be a little slower. Dandelions are kind of an issue, but they'll be a little slower than the grass. Grass is about the first thing you're going to see pop up.
Maybe something else pop up before the corn comes and take out that.
No, not a whole lot, except maybe the marigolds, or not marigolds, the morning glories. They'll pop up pretty quick, but they're easy to spot. Once they have more than one leaf, it's like, yep, that's a marigold. You pull it out, and every little bit of root you can.
Morning glory?
And that's what I mean. I don't know why I keep saying marigold. Crap, I'm out of coffee.
What?
I said I'm out of coffee. Where's your little brothers when I need them? Send them to get me some coffee. Sure, they're in the house for now.
Yeah, probably.
That's all right. You think watering gets messy, just wait till we mix up some urea. Turn pelletized nitrogen into a liquid, a syrup almost. We'll mix it in big buckets and then pour it on with the watering can. That gets messy. And you get it on your feet and it's just sticky and it smells like pee, because that's what it really is. Yeah, you'll enjoy that, but you won't, because it'll make a mess out of you if you ain't careful. We don't do that till the end though. We'll put down some pelletized nitrogen some point. We just watch the plants for when we need that. The plants need nitrogen to make their green, their chlorophyll. And so when the plants aren't as green as we want them to, we'll throw down a little bit of nitrogen, we'll water them, we'll watch them, And I say a little bit because we don't put too much. If we put too much, we can burn them with it. So that's something we watch all through the summer. If the greens, if they're not as dark green as we want them, or if the green's starting to fade, we throw down a little bit of nitrogen, give them a good watering, wait 2 or 3 days, see if the green comes back. But when they start getting close to tasseling, we'll give them a pretty heavy dose of that syrupy, where we mix it in the buckets. And that's where you'll have some fun. You know, you hate getting dirty. I bet you by the end of this summer, you ain't gonna mind being dirty so much.
Well, I don't mind my feet as much if it doesn't stay there.
Yeah. Well, because you know you got the hose in your hand and can clean it off. Just keep at it. Soak it all the way down, soak it all the way back. I'll be back before you're done. But if I'm not, if Mommy happens to need me or whatever, once you get back here, pull that entire hose out of this row. Don't try to stretch your hose around and then up that row while it's pulling out of that row. Get your entire hose out of that row before you go up the next one, okay?
World is not my home, I'm just a passing through. My treasures lie laid up somewhere beyond the blue. The angels beckon me from heaven's open door, and I can't feel at home in this world anymore. Oh Lord, you know I have no friend like you. If heaven's not my home, then Lord, what will I do? The angels beckon me from heaven's open door, and I can't feel at home in this world anymore.
Was your legs hurting or something?
What?
Said, was your legs hurting or something? Huh?
Might have decided to fix it.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, we're giving it more water than she needs today, but that's fine. That's fine for getting the seeds started, but we get into late summer when those stalks are fully grown. Nah, it won't be too much then. Corn stalks, when they're fully grown, they'll take every bit of a gallon of water a day. So, huh? So you got, if you get full 100% germination, you've got about 200 corn stalks out here. That hose puts out, it probably puts out close to 4 gallons a minute. Huh? 400? Yeah. Yeah, you got 100 per row. So that hose will put out about 4 gallons per minute. You're going to be watering constantly for an hour and 40 minutes, hour and 45 minutes. So you got a plan, but if you do it, you're going to have some great corn. And if you don't, you'll just have plain good enough corn. And personally, I don't like good enough corn. I like the best corn.
Hey, Daddy.
What?
You two are probably gonna eat the most corn.
We're going to get a lot. It'll be enough. It won't, I mean,
It won't last for a long time.
nah, it won't be enough like to eat on for a full year. Takes about twice this much. When I do twice this much, we get enough corn to have roasting ears about 6 times. We get enough to make a good 100 bags in the freezer.
So, like, is this gonna be our last time in the garden?
No,
Oh yeah.
we still got to do maintenance on the corn and stuff. when we're tilling it or weeding it or fertilizing it or watering it.
So we still gotta do that.
What?
Fertilize it.
I'll run through and fertilize these 2 rows while you're working on that. There's nothing special about it. I just put down a light layer of it and
Is fertilizer those white little dots?
in potting soil it is. These aren't really white. They're green and gray but okay, now pull the entire hose out of that row.
I'll help.
No, you won't.
How much days does it take for one to sprout? 5 or 6?
It'll take it just a few days, but it'll be about 2 weeks before we do anything with it. We'll let it sprout and start to grow, especially with this being Gahbie's first cornfield. We'll make sure it grows enough that there's no mistaking identity when we go to weed it the first time. All depends.
So we're gonna weed it by hand.
Oh yeah.
What else would you weed it with? A robot?
I mean, in the beginning, I'll be able to run through it a little bit with cultivators.
What's that?
That big red thing that I put on the back of the tractor to run down deep into this with. It's got different sweeps on it, which are the feet or whatever. And yeah, get the whole hose out of the row. Don't leave any of it inside of those posts.
What happens if he does?
Then he'll be trying to drag it into the next row and out of this row at the same time.
What?
I'm just laughing at you. First time's always the slowest, the weirdest, and you'll time goes by, you do this for a couple years, you'll be a pro at it. But while you're watering that, I figured you wouldn't want to get this stuff on your hands anyway. Yeah, it feels good out here. It's been like 90 degrees all day.
What time is it? About 8?
It's 9 right now. That's what I'm saying. You're going to run out of daylight if you don't focus on doing that. It'll get... Well, we're in dusk right now.
What's in that?
You've got about half an hour before you run out completely out of daylight. Other humans. Not really. Well, it's getting to the point that we're we're losing daylight. I didn't exactly expect that, but had a lot of squirrels today. But we had a lot of good conversation too. So, going to finish up here. Caleb's going to finish watering. We'll get the last 2 rows fertilized and call it a night. Then we won't have to touch this again till a good while after the corn sprouts. So, anyway, from Abundant Life, thank you for watching. Hope you got a little bit of enjoyment out of whatever footage makes it to the video, and hope you have a blessed night. And stay tuned, because there's always going to be more to come. Thank you.